What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be working on the upper back. Now we have a lot of tension here. Let's start.
I work a lot, just looking up and down at screens, and I guess when I got home, I ran a couple miles, and then I woke up with just a very stiff neck. Started training again, and then I did some sparring this morning, so I stiffened up again right after the sparring.
What happened then is repetitive range of motion. Repetitive range of motion is when you do the same thing over and over again, and then it causes tension in an area. Now, what we're going to be doing is we have the PMF device going on, shooting about 85 frequencies into his body to help alleviate any inflammation by shooting anti-inflammatory properties into his body. We're also working the area with typical manual therapy. Now, he has an upcoming fight next week, and so with that being said, if tension doesn't reduce, then it could implement the fact that if he's going to fight or not. So we definitely want to make a huge difference. We're working the trapezius. We're going to be working the serratus anterior, which is going to be over here in this area, which I can feel tension already. And this is from overextension of boxing. So whenever he jabs forward, right here, this scapula moves upwards. So if he's at a neutral position and then he jabs forward, the scapula moves up. And what that means is there has to be muscle right here from the scapula to the rib cage that actually pulls upwards. So right here, relax. You see how it's relaxed, and then when you move up, it contracts and then relax again. See that? So that's one more time, and it shortens. So that's what the serratus anterior does. Now, the serratus anterior then puts a lot of pressure onto the rib cage over here, and then it's going to pull all the way up into the serratus. Serratus connects to the ribs over here in this general area, which also connects to the first rib, which is underneath the clavicle. So underneath the clavicle right here, there will be tension, and this goes all the way up into the neck, causing tension. So this is why, this is an example of how just because he feels tension here, we view the whole global tension, and then we tackle it on based off of these basis of correlating muscle and structural integrity of the body. So that's basically why we're doing what we do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the heated scraper to go ahead and work all the way through the trapezius right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to bring some heat, and that's all it's doing. It's just heat, and then we're scraping lightly with the tip right here. Now there's two tips. There's this one, and then there is the more pointier one. I'm going to use this one because I'm not trying to detail necessarily too much. I'm just going to be polishing up. We're working the rotators a little bit, just slightly, and we are working the levator scapula. So it's whenever you do shrugs, it's the muscle that pulls upwards into the trap. There we go. Into your suboccipital right here. Let's also do this. Now we'll do a hold or a trace. It's going to be a trace. It's going to go down. Boom. There it goes. Now it's starting to let go a little bit more. That deep pull, that's probably going to be due to that right there, which is going to go into the rib cage. So now we go down into the ribs. Oil, dip oil. Here we are. So you can see, especially right here, there is a lot of densification, and you can see it just like the way that the tissue is grabbing to the skin, and it makes these little, almost looks like adipofascial restrictions, but it's just the fascia gripping the dermis, and it's causing tension, and you can just see it all aligned right here in the pec and into the rib cage. It's going to be pulling in. Now you can't really see it in the rib cage, but I can feel it. So when I scrape, we hear a little bit, and this is the process of densification. There we go. It's not too bad. Right there, I can feel the pull a little bit more. Oh, sorry, bro. There we go. So it loosened up here, and then right here. It's still tight, and right there. It's rough, right?
I just don't want to say nothing.
You're good.
I'm like, damn. It does feel good, though.
There we go. See that? There's right here when I let go. Boop. That's good. It's a lot better. It's moving now. Before it was not moving.
I feel a lot looser, to be honest.
And you can see already right here in the tissue, too. You see right here where the dermis was being grabbed a lot, it's starting to reduce slightly, but it's doing it all on its own. I haven't even worked it with the heat yet. But you said you're feeling a lot looser already?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. All this right here, like I guess when you're putting out that knot.
What area was it again?
I guess right behind my neck, my shoulder.
And as I loosen this area,
Yeah.
right, that'll loosen up there too.
That's probably what's going on, because I feel like since you've been working right here, I feel it less.
And it's crazy, right? Because you think, oh, it's like my neck and my trap is tight,
Yeah.
but in reality, it's the
all
glute,
this,
it's
yeah.
everything. And that's where we're seeing all the densification, which is where we saw it earlier. And all that you're hearing, all of that is just densification. That's fascia. That's all the restricted tissue from the repetitive range of motion, from jab, injuries too.
I was gonna say, because when you first started working down here, I was hearing that a lot, but then as you started going up, it just started, I guess,
Smoothing out, right?
it doesn't feel as tense as it was when you were rubbing it. Oh, I feel that up here.
Yep. That's what we call referred pain, bro. You feel it right there? Shooting up, trigger point. So just what I want you to do is I want you to be breathing. So go ahead and breathe and out. Out. Deep breath in, out. Is it letting go? Yeah, right. Just slowly.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like it's deflating.
You're still putting that same amount of pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, I feel like now it's not. Yeah, you see now, like, that's crazy. Actually, like, before I couldn't, I was only getting about up to like right here, just real, like, stiff. But now, yeah, I can feel it.
Almost not even there.
Yeah, it's not that freaking. Yeah, I guess.
Look at that.
But man, I was like, this is an important fight for me, you know. So I told James, I was like, after we were done sparring, I wasn't too worried about it because it happened 2 days ago. And I started feeling better after the sparring. I was like, man, I can't even pick up my head right now, like, you know. And I folded my clothes, like, you know, I put my chin to my chest. I couldn't even do that.
Start polishing and actually like making everything. All right.
Yeah, I guess so.
You ready? Recording? Okay. Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a rotator cuff reset. Now, I want to do something just to showcase. Let's go ahead and try to raise this up. Go ahead and raise it up all the way, just like you normally would. Just raise it up. And you can see that there's a little bit of tension right here. We've already worked a lot of the areas, and so there's already been a pretty major improvement, but let's come back down and let's do one more. Go ahead and raise it up just so we can get a double check, just in case we... What I like to do when I'm doing rotator cuff is I like to work the subscapularis. Subscapularis tends to help alleviate the serratus anterior, the traps, and even just all rotators of the shoulder. So we're gonna go ahead and start right here. A little bit of pressure. Deep breath in. And out. We're just gonna pull over 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna do this 3 times. Out. 1, 2, and 3. Boom. Beautiful. Last one. And right here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there it is. Okay, try to raise it up. And go ahead and come back down again, and go ahead and raise it up again. And you can see how lighter it's looking. You're going to notice that it's a lot more relaxed right here, a bit of a ball in the chest. So by we're actually going to be able to find visual cues that allow us to detail even greater. A little bit of tension in the pec. So this is a technique that I like to do to go ahead and alleviate shoulder tension. So one more time, up. And just like that, it looks like it just relaxed even more. All right, guys, so this is my shoulder release. A lot of people who typically have a lot of tension in the rotator cuff. There you go. How do you feel?
I feel good, man. I feel solid. I feel relaxed.
Yeah.
I really do like it.
So this is where we're working on the lat. It's no longer your rib.
Yeah, it's like the back, right?
Mm-hmm. You can feel it, right?
I feel it on my back, bro.
And that's our indicator to go to the back.
Oh my God.
Now we're gonna go face down. So go ahead and get up and.
Look at that, bro. Hey, before I couldn't even do this.
And now, it's looking good, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and go face. So immediately, if we're looking at the back, you can immediately see that there is amount of tension here. This is a visual cue right here that there is a lot of tension. But then we can also see all right here. And all of this tension right here is pulling from the low back right here. And you can see how we can see the ball right there. And it's pulling on the erector spinae. The erector spinae is tight and it's pulling all the way up. And we can see some visual just like that, all the way up into shoulder. So what we want to do is we want to work all the way up and alleviate the rest of the tension that's right here. And look at that. Now guys, this is not me. This was cupping done, but just a heads up, you don't ever cup over the spine. So right here where this cup is, that's a no-no, and right here where this cup is, you do not want to cup. You can cause tension to the actual body of the spine, and that's not the goal. We're trying to do soft tissue manipulation all the time, never hard manipulation, which is a chiropractor's duty. So just a heads up, because I already know I'm gonna have some people saying, why is he cupping it? These are not my cups. Just a heads up. You can see that up to the shoulder.
I knew my back was jacked up, but I didn't know it was this bad.
A lot of people come in and they don't realize that they have a problem, right? And then they don't realize that they need a solution for it. So, you know, a lot of people go through their daily lives carrying tension like this.
Yeah.
And it isn't until there's a moment in life where you kind of overload just a slight bit, and then that's that portion where it tips over.
Yeah.
And then you fall off the cliff, and then you can't move your shoulder, or you can't move your neck.
Yeah, so kind of what I was telling her a little bit earlier, like there's times at work where I'm looking up and down so much that the tension in my neck and my shoulders, they get so tense, bro, that I don't even want to move no more. I'm just like, man, what, like, forget it.
And it's all that repetition, bro. The repetition. So now what we're going to do, we're going to grab this arm, put it behind the back. Now this is going to do is going to flex out the shoulder. It's going to allow me to come in and detail a little bit more around the shoulder blade. And we can see how this tension right here, where this thumb is at, how that tension pulls all the way into that shoulder blade right there. But it's also pulling from the erector spinae. So it's doing this. It's going 0.1, 2, split into 2 right here. And it goes all the way in right here, while this one goes all the way up. And then you have this weird tension here and tension up here, all coming down to this point. If I want to, I can treat this as a home spot, alleviate this tension right here, alleviate this tension right here, come back down here and do trigger point therapy, and that'll help alleviate tension to the shoulder and the rotator cuff. Why don't we give it a shot right here? You feeling it in the shoulder a little bit?
Yeah.
We're doing the same trigger point, so we're gonna keep holding it until, there it goes. You felt that?
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, just like that. Now we're going over here. You can't really see it too visually. I can feel it, but that's the residual tension pulling from over here. Keep the same position. We're going to be flexing that shoulder, and we're going to put pressure over here, and we're going to be holding down this pressure right here. There we go. Whoa. That's much better, yeah?
Sure.
Is also clean. Now we're going to go down, trace it to that home spot right here. It's actually right there. We're going to do a trigger point again. And find it, and here we are. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sometimes you have to work and put less pressure on it. That way you won't float, the muscle won't move as much. So it's about finding the not too soft, not too tense, so that way the muscle doesn't move as much. And as one side loosens up, I'll trace down, and I'll find the next spot, which is right here. There we go. It does go into the lower back, but our goal is the shoulder right now and the neck. So as you can see how now it's a lot more elastic. It's not as tense. I'm not being able to trace the tension. I can slightly feel the tension right here. I'm actually going to do a trigger point right here one more time. 1. So now, in order to alleviate the rest of the tension here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing tuck-in therapy, which is a tie technique with a hammer. Double check it. Looking better. Just make sure. Yeah. There we go. Feels way better. Good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's...
World of a difference?
Yeah, I can feel it already.
Good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do myofascial decompression. Myo means muscle in Greek. Fascia comes from a Latin term, which means connective tissue. And decompression is pulling it apart. So we are using the term to basically define cupping, and it can be used in both static and dynamic, and as well as use cupping with additional modalities such as movement. So we can have him move his shoulder and we can actually decompress and do myofascial decompression with movement, which is another form of active release technique. And you can do this with assisted, which is what I'm doing, or we can do the client does the active movement. So there's active movement by yourself, and then there is assisted movement with me, right? And then you can even do resisted active movement where I'm pulling against him wherever he goes, and he's pushing just to kind of bring some more tension to the tissue. And these are some of the ways that you can use cupping, aka myofascial decompression, accordingly. We are going to leave these cups on for 5 minutes, and then we'll check back in a moment. All right, guys, so it's been 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and remove the cups. Now that we've decompressed the area, we're going to go ahead and polish through again. Now notice something, right? Like, notice this. He's right here. He's in here. It's not discolorized. So now some people argue that colorization doesn't matter, but I will tell you that over here is purple, over here is purple, over here is purple. These areas were purple. These areas are not. Maybe this area over here, which would be the teres minor, I believe. All of these areas are not colored purple. Why is that? Well, because originally there was a major tension. When there's major tension, there's a lack of blood movement. Vasodilation, if there's lack of vasodilation, then there's restriction in blood flow, meaning it's easier to get bruised. Here, 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 there's no restriction, no bruising. Here, there's a slight bruising, meaning that there's still tension, which I recommended earlier on that they need to get their lower back worked. Over here, we have teres minor that might need a little bit of work as well. But overall, this person is on their way to feeling greater, and in a moment, we'll go ahead and see how they feel. Go ahead and see how you feel, bro.
Yeah.
And how's that neck feeling?
Good, I can actually, you see it? Yeah.
You weren't able to turn earlier?
Now I can.
Let's try a full range of motion turn. So let's go ahead and turn your neck and turn it. How's that feeling? Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Before I was only getting up to like right here maybe. Now I'm able to get all the way across.
Perfect.
Can almost see behind me now. Yeah.
There you go.
Let's go. John's the man.
There, guys.